Right.
My clubs have migrated from the Honda Fit, where they spend most of their time, the car during the season. Mine are in my home office. And on occasion, my putter or a club will sit next to my desk. But I personally, I'm so strange about it, but I like to keep the clubs warm. Like, and they hang in the, they spend time in the house.
Mine are always in the garage. Okay. It's more of a family thing. My wife would rather not have them in the office. Welcome in, everybody. Kash and Matty Talkin Golf. So happy to be back with you. We're going to catch up. We're going to tell you what's up. And we've got an in-studio guest in this podcast. One of our buddies, Brian Hilko. He is the golf sim guy. So that's going to be interesting stuff. Matt Smith is to my left. I'm Steve Cashel. How you doing, buddy?
Always good. We're back.
Yeah.
It's nice to be back in.
I know.
To be back in.
This is post-Thanksgiving, before Christmas, so a perfect time because there's a lot to talk about. No more golf outside. Maybe the last time we did this, I was playing golf outside. But
it might be 15 degrees. It might be less, and that's not an exaggeration. This is a Thursday. By the time this comes out, everyone's going to remember that 15-degree Thursday. I'm wearing long underwear.
I usually do,
I got
but
2
I'm
pairs
not.
of socks on. This is not a joke.
And I'm usually wait
that.
till you get to my age, then you're really going to bundle up.
I'm bundled up either way. It's nice in here, though.
The
temp is just right
it's
today.
a great studio. We're at the Ian Ryan Interactive Studios here. Laird Crawford and Will Ojeda with us, and looking forward to having Brian on. But first, we're going to get into some stuff that you and I usually go back and forth on.
Well, we want to kick it off with this quick thing: indoor lessons. Steve, you are an off-season guy.
I am.
You keep relatively fresh on your game. You doing anything indoor yet?
I am. I take lessons at Golf Tech in Naperville, which I love. My instructor, James Standhart, is one of the best in the business. Been going to him for years. Was with another gentleman that moved off to Michigan, Ian Hughes. A lot of Chicago area people know Ian. And he and his wife and kids moved off to Michigan, where he's originally from. So got with James, and both are terrific. But James trying to take me to another level, and I love it. And every time I go in, I think I'm playing good golf. And he always has 2 or 3 things, and I go, geez, you're right that I needed you last week on the golf course. But to your point, not as much in the wintertime. I wish I could play more, practice more. I don't, but lessons at Golf Tech at least once a month really help. And if I can go into the simulator places, I try to do that as well. I'm not a huge practice player, but if I can play a course, I feel like I'm outside playing a course because these simulators have gotten incredibly good.
Yeah, no, the text there, Steve, you said you're going to be possibly taken to another level. What is that? What's that level? What do you want?
What
does that mean for you?
It's all about swing playing. All
Okay.
right. When I first started going to Golf Tech, I was swaying left and right, and I couldn't get my balance down, and my swing was, looking like John Daly on the backswing. So I've tightened it up. Do I have a good swing now? I don't know. I'm happy with my swing, but no, I can still get better. I like the way the ball's moving for the most part, but every time I go in to see James, my instructor, he always has 2 or 3 things that that gets past you. I really strongly suggest getting a swing instructor. It's so worth it, and you think you're playing well, then you go in and go, Steve, immediately 2 things, and they're not going to put 18 things in your head. I walk out of there with 2 or 3. I make notes in my phone, and it's very helpful. How about you? Instruction ever?
Yeah, no.
You're too good. You are good. You are a good player.
Very self-taught, and that's why the ball can go fine some days and not fine. That's golf either way, whether you've got
But you don't know unless you have an instructor, right? Do you know what some of your weaknesses are?
That's where having an instructor or some of that coaching would be beneficial. So open-minded, certainly open-minded. It's never been a stubbornness, but just very self-taught and little, I've always been able to correct some, but certainly understanding some of those moves would be would be more helpful.
Do you
So,
measure it by scoring when you go play, let's say, this past summer? And what do you shoot? You shoot high 70s, low 80s?
certainly can vary. That's the unpredictability
More in the
of my
70s,
game.
though? When I think
no,
about
more
you,
the 80s.
Okay,
more
low
the 80s.
80s, though.
This past season, totally.
When I've played with
Totally.
you, you are a very good player, and I'm thinking high 70s, low 80s. I wouldn't put myself in that category. I'll shoot in the 70s, maybe once, twice a year. I think maybe I got 2 in the 70s this year. It's always high 70s. If I could sneak in a 78 or 79, I'm thrilled.
Those are great days.
But they really are.
yeah.
But what I'm saying is, do you measure it by score, or do you see when you come off the course and have a beer and you say, geez, I really hit it well today. I was balanced. I really feel good about my swing. You can see it in your scoring, or do you say, you know what, I scored better than I played?
Usually for me, it's of late. It's been having trouble putting the short game, either the chipping and the pitching and the putting.
Yeah.
Is there on a given day, whereas the ball striking might be was variable, or just quite the opposite. So it's been hard to put both together. To have scoring was problematic most of this year, but usually I feel good if I hit the ball nice that day, and my ego isn't entirely tied to the score. Even though I track on CDGA, I track the handicap, and it was certainly a bit frustrating because the scores aren't haven't been where I'd like them to be. But if I'm hitting the ball well and I had a good day with good people, I know that sounds a little corny.
Oh, that's what it's all about.
That's where, and I'd like to hit a couple deep tee balls on a given day, and if I hit some good shots, it makes for a nice time out on the course.
You know what's great about golf is that I always look at score, but I say at the end, I'm always on 18. I go, you know what? No one cares what I shot. I might share it with the guys. Everyone always say, hey, what'd you shoot today? What'd you end up with?
Right.
Going out to the car or maybe having a beer after the round. But I say, you know what? No one else cares what you score. No one else is going to remember what you score. I may not remember in 3 days what I scored, but I had a wonderful day with my buddies on the golf course or with clients, and that's what it's all about. And we got so lucky. I played almost every Friday in the summer. And Matt, the guys I played with, we kept talking about how fortunate we were. We didn't wait a lot. We played, it was all public golf. We we ran through on Fridays. We always teed off 11, 11:30, noon, 12:30 maybe at the latest. We hardly waited. We had the most beautiful days. The only day we got rained out was like our first day of the year, and that was back in like April or May.
Sure.
Yeah, we did not get rained on once. It was amazing weather. It was hot. I love heat, but we had a great summer of golf in Chicago. You agree?
That's totally the most important stuff, cliche or not. That is the stuff that you remember, unless you had a day where you're going after one of your best rounds, right? Because those are scores you will remember. Mm-hmm. Let's jump into this, Steve. I did want to ask you this, and I'm just going to cut to it here to make a quick transition. You and I, just before we got on today, we said let's talk about where we've put our clubs.
Oh,
quick chat on
the winter.
that. Yeah, the winter's here. I mean, it's we've already covered how darn cold it is.
Right.
My clubs have migrated from the Honda Fit, where they spend most of their time, the car during the season. Mine are in my home office, up against the door, standing up, and as I'm working and spending most of my time in that home office, that's where they are. And on occasion, my putter or a club will sit next to my desk. But I personally, I'm so strange about it, but I like to keep the clubs warm. And they hang in they spend time in the house.
You bring up a good point there, because we were talking before the show about we're going to talk a little bit about this, and we shared a couple thoughts, and I said, you know what? Mine are always in the garage. Okay. It's more of a family thing. My wife would rather not have them in the office, and I get that. But I agree with you, though, that when I go get a lesson, when I want to go play now indoors in the simulators, they're cold, they're freezing, and I don't like that. So whenever I'm going to take a lesson or go to the simulators, I make sure they're either in the car or I'll put them in the basement to get them warm. And remember, take those clubs with you the next morning, because, our garage, it's not heated, so it could be cold. But mine are usually 24/7 all year round in the garage. In the summer a lot, you keep them in the car. But very good question. But I agree with you. It's nice to have especially if you have a good looking bag, and we all love our clubs and our head covers and everything,
Yeah.
colorful stuff, and it's fun when they're in your office because you get that urge and you know how much you love this game, and you can peek at them and, like you said, have a club next to you. That's what it's all about. That's why we're golf nuts.
I would like for you to find a way, whether it's the basement, Steve, or in a closet. See if you can bring them in the house, or is that too much to?
No, in the basement. I said I'll bring them in the basement. To
full,
warm them up.
Full time.
I don't want. Oh, okay.
Can you take them out of the garage?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
I can put them in the basement.
Here's where we're going. Let's catch up.
Okay.
Let's catch up. This is where we like to reflect on what's been happening here locally and in the bigger world of golf over these last couple of weeks. We're now hitting this every few weeks.
Right.
The show's doing well. This is great. Catching up, our strategy with catching up is always going to be brought to you to our viewers by Kishwaukee.
Great
our
stuff.
Sponsors.
Great beer. You brought me some beer last time. Loved it during the Thanksgiving holiday.
Got into a little bit of it.
Great stuff.
Good.
Yep,
well, our friends Dan and Kara and the Kishwaukee team might need to restock. I'm not out, but we're getting close. As a reminder, 14 beers in total there. 12. I love it. They got 12 on draft out at their tap room
That's
in
amazing.
Woodstock.
That's good stuff. I love draft beer, by the way.
Their beer is golf course approved, they like to say. And a final thing, Matty, I personally really, really strongly approved of Bufflehead, their brown ale. I was texting with Dan, head brewer, one of the owners there, as I had that Bufflehead.
Yeah.
A strong, good pour, almost 7% brown ale. So
good stuff.
Keep on cranking it out there, Kishwaukee.
Yep.
All right. Catching up, let's get to golf. Otherwise, we're talking about beer for the next hour.
Which isn't bad, yeah.
No, it's not horrible. This has been going on since November of 2024, but we've seen some recent updates. Orchard Valley out in Aurora, Troon course, and also part of the Park District, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Out there in Aurora. The renovation project that they've been working on, we're talking about a full-on clubhouse course, a big project, making good progress. And what I wanted to call out, their Instagram page is unbelievable at keeping anyone that wants to check it out, keeping people up to date what they're doing with the renovation hole by hole. It's the cadence they've hit. I've noticed over the last roughly every month or two, they'll make a post with pretty detailed pictures of a renovation. I've gotten a kick out of it. Steve, you have spent some time Orchard Valley.
Yes.
Over the years.
I always
Tell us
enjoyed
one
the
or two
course.
things.
Oh, I always enjoyed it. Some long par fives of what I remember, some nice par threes over water, really friendly people, really nice clubhouse. I've played in events out there, but also with buddies. And I respect a course and a park district that shuts down for a year. It's not easy. Giving away those dollars, keeping from making those dollars, but redoing the entire course. A lot of people do it for drainage. They want new sand in the bunkers, and sometimes you might just see that as far as irrigation, and we're going to redo our bunkers. But to reshape some of the holes and to keep people interested, I think is really cool. Yeah, they do have a great website, but it's I can't wait to go play it. I haven't played it in a couple of years, but it's always been a really good golf course. But to see what it's going to look like brand new, right, redone, once the grass grows in, and to be shut down for as long as they were, to do it right, I really respect.
They're aiming for this coming summer.
Good.
To be completed. And once again, we know plans have to change in timing, but that's what they're shooting for.
Yeah, it's all about the weather. It's all about
the
rain and the seed and
endless
factors
to hit a timeline. But I will say that in doing a little more research, Martin Design Golf, doing the project, they're out of Sugar Grove. I looked into this a little more. They've done projects with the Preserve at Oak Meadows, Whitetail Ridge, Phillips Park.
Love all those places.
So they brought
Greg Martin is the architect.
There you
Nicest guy. He's so good at what he does. Now he's redoing Maple Meadows. He did the Preserve at Oak Meadows. Did an incredible job. The old, I think it was Elmhurst Country Club or something back in the day, right? And then he went across the street.
I'll agree to that.
And now he's doing Maple Meadows, which I'll admit needed a renovation. And I know he's going to do a great job, and so they're already into that because I think they closed it at the end of last year.
That's right. That's right. Steve, get us into some scoop on Swing Loose, our friends out there in Hoffman Estates.
Yes, they've brought on 2 new instructors, Swing Loose and Hoffman Estates. A former touring pro named Cindy. She played on the Malaysian tour and some LPGA events, and won some events, which was great. They also have a gentleman named Dusty. Grew up in Hawaii. So make sure you say that right, Hawaii. I always said all my life Hawaii, and then I started Mark Rolfing is a good friend. I did some stuff with him.
This brings us back
Mr.
to the
Hawaii.
Maui. We chatted Maui Jim.
Yeah.
Maui Jim, some sunglasses, and that was the first time I heard that Hawaii.
It is Hawaii, like Maui and Kauai. But that's how you say it. And if you hear a person from Hawaii say it right, I'll say it right. When you hear them say it, they'll say Hawaii instead of Hawaii, as we all said in the growing up.
So go catch Dusty.
Yeah.
And go catch Cindy.
Absolutely.
Out in Hoffman Estates, out at the Bell Works building. So good for them.
That's a cool place with all their simulators
totally.
and everything. That's, as I said, maybe last time on the podcast, it's a great building. Parking across the street real easy. It's not a heavily populated area. It's an easy drive up there, right off the tollway.
Yes.
Off of 90.
Convenient spot. They got TrackMan. We know TrackMan's the way to go. So good work there, and fun to catch the update on those instructors, because that's a nice move. Next topic, check this out. Steve, in prep for this, Steve looked at me and he said, "That's you. That this is your topic. YouTube golf."
Yes.
Yes. That's where Steve chimes in. Yes, YouTube golf. Here's the catch up. YouTube golf's on fire. If you know,
explain now. Wait, there's a lot of golf on YouTube. Our Golf Scene show is on YouTube, and this podcast is on YouTube.
Well, that's
right?
primarily why it's on fire, because Kash and Matty have entered the space.
But when you say YouTube golf, where does it take you? What does it mean?
Well, for the sake of time, because we could spend the next hour on YouTube golf as an entire topic, but the Internet Invitational, I'll leave it there, the 5-part release between Bob Does Sports, a group called Bob Does Sports, and Barstool,
okay,
Portnoy, and the Bob team there. We could talk, and what I wanted to call out, when we say it's on fire, the viewership between the Internet Invitational, what the Brian Bros are doing, what Good's up to. I mean, we can list names upon names, but a recent drop, a 2-parter beyond the Internet Invitational, the Bryan brothers, which is Wesley Bryan, former touring pro, right, and his brother George Bryan, putting together a match. This has been something that had been talked about for quite some time. A match, those two against Brad Dahlke and Sean Walsh, the 2 top players for Good.
Okay.
There are talks that Dahlke has. There's been, this isn't anything new, but plenty of talk that Dahlke could or should be playing tour level golf. But it's a 2-part release here recent, and I wanted to bring it up for this show. I would imagine most listening to us spend a little time in YouTube golf. Yet the other, maybe it's a coin flip. The other half hasn't spent some time. I'd recommend the Bryan Brothers channel. As I said, good, no laying up. Internet Invitational. So go see what Foreplay and Barstool are doing. But it's red hot right now, and the tension has been is probably as high as ever. So it's fun.
I think I saw those guys, or at least was it Wesley Bryan, when Liv was in town at Bolingbrook Golf Club, right?
Yes.
When he paired, I went there during that practice day on Wednesday. Mickelson was on the tee with them. Sergio Garcia was on the tee.
Grant Horvat's another name. Big Page.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And John Rahm was out there too. So Phil was kind of directing it. They were shooting. There were just all these influencers and everything. But it was really cool. It was really neat to see these guys playing. And Wesley Bryan, I think, was the main guy. I don't know enough about those guys, but boy, when they attract these live guys and had 9 holes to themselves, playing for big money. And Phil Mickelson was explaining the stakes, and they were quite big. And it was obviously for an internet production of some sort, but that was cool stuff.
Well, Rahm just yesterday, and they may have done it a couple days prior, Rahm spent some time with Bob Does Sports down in Arizona. Roger Steele was down there, our Chicago
Your buddy.
guy. Yeah. hit me up, Raj. Like, ran into him a couple times recently, but good dude. That internet invitational, Steve, I'd love for you to check out the first episode.
Okay.
See what you think. It'd be fun to see where you're at if you give it a little time.
Yeah, a lot of that
fun
stuff
watch.
is entertaining. It's well produced. These kids with all their I mean, we've been doing a nice job, I think, with the golf scene and with this show and everything. And you watch some of these production companies come out with some of this stuff. It's really good stuff. They're all mic'd and it's well edited and everything. So it's worth the watch because it moves and it's entertaining.
Totally. Hey, Steve, like every episode to this point, let's now tell people where we've played some golf prior to the snow and prior to this
last
nasty
round
cold.
of the year, right?
I want to hear let's tell the people a little bit about your time in Elgin.
Yes.
Just it was probably a month back at least at this point, but tell some folks about that Friday at it was the Highlands of Elgin?
The Highlands of Elgin, yeah. And one of the first or second times I've played it this year, I always try to get out there once or twice. Let me say this about the Elgin courses. I have said this for a while to friends, and I'll say it on this podcast here. I don't think any city or village course, or villages that own golf courses have two of the better golf courses or facilities than the Highlands of Elgin and Bowes Creek in the city of Elgin, okay? Now, not every village or city has two golf courses. A number of them do, but nothing better, in my opinion, than those city courses of Elgin.
They are incredible.
I played the Highlands, and it was actually easy. We played a tee up, which we've never done before, because it was in November, all right?
Uh-huh.
It was a beautiful day. I think it was one of those 60, 65-degree days. Not a lot of wind, which we're thankful for because it's a tough enough golf course. I actually played very, very well. I was surprised, but it was a great way to come off the turf for the summer or fall and go into the winter season playing around. It's such a great golf course. The greens were rolling great. It was plush. This was I don't know, want to say the 6th or 13th of November.
Yeah.
It was really nice before that cold really set in. But I highly recommend the Highlands and Bowes Creek. Rick Jacobson, the architect at Bowes Creek, one of my buddies, great golf course architect. But those two courses, Matt, I hope you've played both of them because
Sure have,
it's a ride from where I live in Naperville, but so well worth it. But again, I will say it. Two of the best city-owned courses anywhere that I've ever played, City of Elgin.
You said it earlier, and you just said it again. Steve had a knack for finding some good weather. This year and late in the year, I would have a call with Steve on a Monday or over the weekend, and it regularly seemed to be about how nice it was on that Friday and where you might have been. So
yeah, and where did you play your last round?
Yeah, and let me turn. I hadn't planned on specifically doing this, but I brought the card out because this isn't local, but this was a great play. The Bear Trace at Tim's Ford. Give me a moment.
What city, what state?
Yeah, so all of Thanksgiving week, the entire week of Thanksgiving, we traveled down to see my folks down in southern Tennessee.
Uh-huh.
They're just outside of Winchester. So putting that on a map a little more specifically, an hour 15 south of Nashville, 50 minutes west of Chattanooga.
Okay.
So just north of Huntsville.
All right.
There you go. So those that know a map, that's where Winchester is. But no, it's
Is this with buddies? I mean,
no, this was a family trip, and I played with my dad.
Nice.
And my dad and I got off a call just before our recording here today, and he told me to tell everyone he had three holes in ones. Hole in ones?
Hole in ones.
Yes, hole in ones during the 9 holes. That's not true. He did not.
All right.
This is my dad's
I
a
thought you
joker.
meant maybe a lifetime.
No, during those 9 holes, Steve.
All right.
But no, this is the Bear Trace at Tim's Ford is a part of the Tennessee Golf Trail. I'll just say a few quick things. They've got 9 courses as a part of that trail. This is a Nicholas design. We just played 9 holes to keep the time snappy and keep things moving, but we had great weather. It's a good play. It's right off of a beautiful lake there at Tim's Ford State Park. So I wanted to bring that up. One, it was my most recent outdoor round. But as we have, our audience, if you're on TikTok listening right now, or if you're on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, wherever, all the places our show is, like if you have a chance to get south of Nashville, between Chattanooga, Swanee, and then Winchester, you'll find some really, really cool golf.
That's neat. I didn't know there was this trail of Tennessee courses with nine tracks. That's great.
9 tracks there. So fun play. My dad did not have that many aces, but we had a great time, a lot of fun.
All right, Matt, let's move on. Now we're going to do What's Up, one of our favorite segments. And this one's brought to you by Specialized Performance Rehab and Carol Stream and our buddy out there.
Yep. We love JC. We're going to give him a quick, a nice plug here today as a sponsor. What I picked up on here recently on JC's Instagram, which we mentioned last time, anybody's keeping up an amazing golf fitness oriented page, it's JC. What he's come out with recently is what he's calling his 12-week speed school.
Okay.
His idea, we've talked about this, it's all about mobility, hip, shoulder, the whole body mobility. So increasing your speed, your ability us humans, our ability to move quicker and more efficiently to then increase swing speed, feel better on the course. He's got a 12-week program that I saw being discussed, and I think is absolutely worth the consideration if you're looking to move the body a little more efficiently and quicker going into next season.
JC Aikenhead.
That's our guy.
Yep. Specialized Performance Rehab and Carol Stream. We've both met him. We did a show out there with the golf scene not that long ago, and the guy's intense. I mean, he's really, really good, and I see his videos and everything, and he says, I don't care if you were in an injury, right? If you're coming off rehab, whatever you are, I'll take you and we'll work with your body, or coming off, post-surgery, whatever it is, and develop a swing, develop where you could play within your spectrum there, which is great.
So he's so dialed in on it. He's so dialed in. So I would jump on that page if you're listening or watching. JC Aikenhead, Specialized Performance Rehab, right here in Carol Stream. Let's talk what's up. Some things that are happening that will be on the horizon here in the Chicago golf scene. Heated outdoor ranges, not just indoor sims. That's a huge play right now. Are the indoor sims that we've talked plenty about, but we wanted just to give some love to some outdoor. I'm going to call them a hybrid range, right? Where you've got the overhead with the heat.
Yep.
So you feel like you're seeing the ball fly, but you're keeping at least a bit warm. Places like, I did some research because I drive past them. I'm familiar with these, but I wanted to call out Ballybunion in Long Grove. Cog Hill's got a nice setup. I mean, a massive, pretty sick range there. Everyone knows Cog Hill. Cantini's got one now.
Very nice.
Yep.
I think they've had it for years.
They have for years.
Yeah.
I'm not saying any of this is new, but places that are really that have a heck of a venue for hitting balls outdoors in the winter. Skokie Sports Park, Odyssey. They're calling it Odyssey Sweet Spot down in Tinley Park.
Yep.
We got to get down on the south side, you and I, a little more.
Well, there's a course called the Odyssey Golf Course, which I haven't played in years, but I used to know the pro out there, and really cool place right off of the Tollway 80, and really, really nice place, so worth doing. But I agree with you. What's nice about these places is that they usually kind of board you, left and right, so that the wind's not at you, and they put you enough back. But what's also nice is that you're able to see that ball flight. I love the sims because you can play courses and everything, but this is nice because people, when hitting balls, it's sometimes you can't see everything when you're hitting 10 feet into a net, okay, or into a screen. But, if you want to go and brave the elements, and hopefully a lot of people are, they start out thinking they're going to be all bundled up, and by the end of it, they're just in not a golf shirt, but maybe a sweater or a pullover, right? A quarter zip or something, because they find out, I'm sweating here under these heat lamps.
These are options.
So, yeah.
Simulators, these ranges.
It's great.
Maybe here's a spontaneous idea. Us getting some content at one of these heated ranges, us getting some content at some sims. We got to.
I'm more comfortable in the sims, all right, because I like the weather, But I admire these places that are remaining open, a lot of them public facilities that still offer, their range activity happening, and they're heated, and a lot of people go, you know what, I don't care if it's 35 degrees, if it's 30 degrees, and I got a nice heat lamp on me, and I can hit some balls outside and see the ball flight and see if my driver's still going, to whatever. There's an advantage of that, so I think that's cool. So pick your poison, pick your whatever you want to do. As you said, try both, But I am more comfortable indoors with the indoor simulators, especially we're going to talk about the Brian Hilko coming up. I've got a lot of questions for Brian about the technology, and it's amazing now what they're doing with these indoor simulators.
It's hard to beat that, the data cool. and the tech behind it.
And they're just getting better and better every day, which is really fun.
So beyond Brian, who's going to be on here soon, if you're keeping it indoors.
Yep.
You and I, we've been out to a couple of these sites, Smart Golf and Fitness.
Yeah.
Lombard was original location. Forgive me if not, but Lombard, Lincoln Park, Northbrook.
Really cool
Northbrook
places.
is a recent opening.
Okay.
Stopped in there. Holy smokes. I stopped in just to kill a little time. I know how to do that.
Right.
And what Tommy Asuma and Joe Sheeran.
Asuma, I've known him a long time.
What those guys have done there.
Joe, yeah.
Yep. Really impressive. So if you're in Northbrook, Lincoln Park, Lombard, what I wanted to bring even more attention to with our friends there, their holiday gift packages that they put out just recent through their Instagram and all their socials. They give 1 week, 1 month, or 3 month bundles.
Nice.
For membership, so you're not having to be tied into a 6 month or to a year.
Yeah.
Which that's not a bad option either if that's your game plan. But I enjoyed seeing a month or a week. So I'd recommend getting on smartgolffitness.com.
Okay.
Or their Instagram or their socials and see what they're up to. Yeah.
I remember they always had a place in Lincoln Park. That's where Tommy Azuma was for so long. And now to see them expanding, it's great. I'm so happy for them because they're so good at what they do. And it took a little while, but sometimes you got to, get the business model going. And they were always successful and almost too busy at that one location. Now they figured out how to expand, and I think the world of those guys.
Yeah, they're doing.
And Tommy donates some of his time, and I'm sure Joe does too. We're out at the Maryville golf event, some of these charity events, and I see Tommy at all of these, donating his time, teaching people or giving some lessons on the tee.
Those guys,
practice tee.
Their whole team knows the golf swing.
Yeah.
They know the golf fitness, the mental side. It's very well rounded.
Yeah. What
they're doing there with Smart Golf and Fitness. Watch this one. Just a few quick hitters here on what's up. I caught this through the CDGA email. I get their emails.
Yep.
I open them. Most of my emails.
Oh yeah. A lot of what's going on.
A lot of emails I personally am not opening up. I read and I look at every CDGA email. And Big Moss Golf caught my attention. I've known them for years.
I have too.
They're out of Spring Grove, so they're up north. But I loved seeing, it's timely, good for CDGA and Big Moss putting out a deal going into the winter, but they're doing a 15% off their turf greens. So Big Moss does indoor greens, whether it's a small space, that's the word, small space, or a larger area. Really quality turf. Got a nice deal of 15% off, and it's amazing. I had to look into this figure because I asked myself, how long have they been around for? It's 1998.
Yeah, oh yeah, I've known them for a long, long time. I mean, I'm talking 20, it seems like 30 years now. Really good guys, and I had one of their putting greens in my basement at my second house that we owned, and then it got a little busy with redoing the basement and everything. And but really quality stuff, and they've been really good for years. Stood the test of time. So I'm happy to see Big Moss continues to progress and be there, and the CDGA does a great job. And if you like their emails and go to their magazine that Barry Cronin puts out. It's really good stuff.
That's where I get a lot of information.
I've been saying it for a long time. We've lost a lot of Chicago media, all right, that were doing golf. A lot of people. Some have passed away, unfortunately. Some really dear friends. Some have just retired. So it's hard to find good Chicago golf media right now. We do with the golf scene. Fortunately, we're still going. We started this podcast, but the CDGA does a great job, and with their magazine, and there's others out there. But it's good. I like when people continue to talk about and promote golf in Chicago through the media, because there's very few left. I mean, the Chicago Tribune, Sun-Times, Daily Herald with Lenny Zine still does stuff, but you don't get a lot of Chicago media left.
Nowadays, there's a lot of room to do it right.
Yeah.
And folks are starting to do it. We're doing our best.
Yeah, this is the new wave.
Thanks to everyone for tuning in at this point. We're doing our best with all that. One more quick shout out to an indoor spot. We promise one more. We're excited about this one because we do love the Shack in Glenview, and then we'll be bringing on our sim guy, Mr. Brian Hilko, our buddy here. But a quick read for the Shack in Glenview. It's this. It says, Chicago, when the weather turns, the Shack keeps the good times rolling. Play championship courses on 7 TrackMan simulators. 7 of them, Steve.
Really nice. One is an arena too, where you can put 25 people, which is really cool.
It is a big space. That is a neat sim they do have there. Dial in your game or tee it up with friends all indoors. And when you're done swinging, settle in at our full bar featuring over 100 whiskeys to explore. That's fun. Plus ice cold beer and great drinks. Very neat bar space they have in there, I will add. As the season gets busier, more players are choosing to make the Shack their home for indoor golf. Memberships are available for anyone who wants easier access and a few extra perks. The Shack, where Chicago plays all year long. Come hang out, play around, and discover your new favorite whiskey. Wow.
Yeah, that's they do have a great bar there. You just want to go there for a drink and some food. It's really good. But
been there, done that. Yep. Nice spot.
Yeah,
love that mural of Palmer.
Oh yeah,
on the right side of the bar. So good work to Nick and the Shack.
Story time now. Kash and Matty talking golf, and story time takes us to a guest on set, a guy that we've known a while, Brian Hilko.
How's it going, guys?
Good. You are I called you the sim guru, but yeah, how you doing, Brian?
Good. When the weather gets cold, I'm happy, and bring those golfers inside, into my world.
What is your world? Explain that for our listeners and viewers.
The sim world has really become my thing. I'm a hardcore golfer, but it's that time in the winter, you're always just craving to hit golf shots. And, I've always been involved in that space, just whether it's simulators, indoor golf domes, just keeping the golf season, keeping the fun rolling all year round. So it's really become my specialty. I have my own TrackMan facility up in Mount Prospect, and now I'm building out golf sims too for my company, the Indoor Golf Guys.
Hey, let me jump in. Brian, what has been the most surprising for you personally, the most surprising part about this experience, having all those years of outdoor golf, coaching, and all the years you spent outdoor? What has surprised you most about the indoor space?
I'm a creative person. And it's just fun to build out things and build out indoor spaces and be able to take that. There's that hurdle of technology and, construction, and then connecting the golf and making it all work together. And it's, it's kind of, I realized in the space, to me, it all came easy. But then the more I talked to people, I was like, there's really no one who can make that connection from the construction and the creative side into that golf and actually getting it to function as a golf space. And I just got attracted to it. It kind of checked a lot of boxes for me. And I just loved it. So it's been, that's really been my favorite part about it.
Heck yeah.
Matt mentioned, you having a past with golf, and I think it's important to set that up first, because we were just talking before we started taping and all the connections we have. Oh, you worked with him, and this guy, and you worked at this club. Give us a little brief history of you in golf in this area.
Yeah, I grew up, born and raised here in Chicago, western suburbs. I live and breathe Chicagoland golf. I worked in the golf industry. I worked at Hinsdale Golf Club was my longest stop, but I worked at Orchard Valley, Royal Melbourne, Anawensia for, just been all over the burbs. And, I think I've played every course that has existed within 3 hours of this city. Even I even laugh. I like go through in my head like all the no longer existing. Like I was driving through Timber Trails the other day, and I was just remembering that big tree in the middle of the second fairway there. And it's just, I just love golf in this city, and it's been it's been fun to be a part of that. And now, kind of finding my way into the indoor space, I get to put my own kind of stamp on the Chicagoland market.
When did you start that, and what made you go into the indoor space?
So the the outdoor golf I love, but it's a lot. It's it's long days in the summer. You're working a lot of hours. I have a family. Like I always, I started to gravitate as I got older into the indoor space because I could play golf whenever I wanted. It could be 11 o'clock at night, hitting golf shots. So I started like probably about 10 years ago, started playing more indoor golf than I did outdoor golf because of commitments in my life. And it really, that's really what pulled me in is it was just so easy to play. And then just how good the simulators got. When I first hit on a simulator, it was just hokey. Like I'd hit it lower and it'd go further, or hit it higher, go shorter. It's kind of goofy. But then, like as everything's improved here in the last decade, and just the realism and like just how much it's translated into helping my own game, it just sucked me in. And and as I kind of just started as a decent golfer myself, I was really able to like catch a lot of the nuances. And I started to realize people started coming to me with all kinds of questions on sims because I spent so much time on them. And, and it's, and I really it just kind of that space just really kind of gravitated towards me.
Heck yeah. Brian, the last 2 years, how about we just put a concrete timestamp on it? Last 2 years more so, or a year, we could say a year or two, technologically, whatever brand, Foresight, Unicore, am I saying that right? Unicore?
Yeah.
Unicore, TrackMan. What have you seen in the last year or two that has impressed you the most, for one? And then second, what could you see next?
Yeah. So I think the two biggest things is like the high end keep getting better, with adding all kinds of new features, and the barrier to entry into the market on the low end has gotten very low, and it's a very accessible. It's where you used to think like sim costs $50,000 to put in my house. It's like you can DIY something in your garage for $5,000, and it's like a good solid system. There's going to be some quirks, but when it comes to hitting a 7-iron, the numbers you're going to get on that launch monitor are going to be similar to TrackMan. I think in the market, most launch monitors are pretty solid. If we went like hit shots next to them, they're all going to have pretty similar readings for the ones that are well regarded: Unicore, Foresight, TrackMan, Pro T. They're all give you solid numbers. I think what really starts to separate it is just all the bells and whistles in the software. Like when we get into TrackMan, it's like you get the AI video with it where you hit a shot and it's like it can draw all the lines and you can compare your swing to a Tour Pro, and there's all kinds of different modules you can play and games and the 4K graphics, and you can play Band and Dunes that just looks incredible. But on the other end of the token, there is, some of the garage setups I've helped my friends build in the last few years, and just like, it is fun. Like you can get a software like GS Pro where it's all community driven, and I laugh because they'll change, it'll be Georgia Golf Club instead of Augusta is the way they get around it.
Yeah, right.
But it's like you can sit there and play Augusta in your garage with your friends, and these cheap launch monitors, it's like you can get like the Unicore Mini Core. It's like a $2,000 launch monitor, and if we hit a 7-iron on that and a 7-iron on TrackMan, the numbers are going to be very similar. Now, the Unicore is not going to give you club head data. It's not going to do a lot of the extra. The hitting zone is going to be smaller. But when it comes to reading shots and giving you numbers, it is rock solid.
Brian, where are people putting these simulators in their homes? I'm thinking basement all the time. But you're seeing it all over the board?
I am. I'm seeing it's like, I think like if you have a detached space is the best just for your wife's sanity.
Okay.
Hearing shots banging away. But like basement's definitely the most popular. And I would say the garage number 2.
Okay.
It's real. We did a couple builds where retractable, comes down out of the ceiling. It's not nearly as expensive as you think it was. So it's like you can pull in cars then when you're ready to play, you hit a button, it all drops down, and then you're ready to go, and you mount the projector and the launch monitor up high, so it's like you don't have to worry about it. And it's just like, so it's really cool to kind of make use, because it's hard in a lot of people's houses. Even like I go to some big houses, and it's hard to find that space where it's like 16 feet wide by 20 feet deep. It's like when you start thinking about it, it's like a lot. And then having 10-foot ceilings. But a lot of people in their garages do have that space. So being able to kind of make use of that and be able to use it for your cars and for golf, pull the cars out, have fun. And, but if it was the most ideal, like would be building a golf shed in your backyard, you could kind of hide out, don't have to worry about noise, waking anyone up. That would be, to me, the most ideal setup if I could have anything.
Nice.
Brian, you mentioned the width and the depth. You then spoke to the height, but go into that height a little more. My mind went there. What is it from your experience, and you're building these 10 feet and up?
Yeah, you can. I built as low as 8.5 feet. I wouldn't, that's all the golfer. You got your swing. My biggest thing is you do not want to ruin your swing. Like we always joke, indoor golf syndrome. Like someone will hit a shot indoors and they'll be like, this isn't right. And they're just not comfortable swinging indoors. To me, like, it's less about actually hitting something versus like if it starts to mentally, you're thinking that you're going to hit something, like, and you don't want it messing with your golf swing. You want to be able to freely swing indoors and not think about it, and then be careful not to invite that 6'5" friend over who has super high finish. That's the other thing. But 10 feet's great, but you can 9 feet, as long as you feel comfortable in there, you could build something.
So you're talking about practicing. Okay, with irons or woods, playing a course, but it goes beyond that, right? I mean, what about the games, which I think has been, some of the best technology coming forward and getting better every day, because you get the families involved, right? Yeah,
it is like, going to a couple different softwares, even like the home software like GS Pro, like they have Op 36, which is like, you can get up, they turn every course into like a 30-yard course. So it's like you can get in there with your kids or, someone who's not into golf, and, it just simplifies the golf experience. They have like giant dartboards you can hit it at on Unicore. My favorite games, that's where I think TrackMan does it at the highest level. Like, I just think they have this game Scrapyard where it's Candy Crush for golf. You're blowing up cars. But like what I find amazing about it is like I see it at my place is like dad and son, it'll be like dad with his like 7-year-old son playing this game, and you're trying to hit like an 80-yard wedge shot to a car, and you're like, you have that data, those yardages, and you don't realize like how great of like a practice session that is. But you have this interactive fun thing that your son's buying in, or your daughter, and that's getting them into golf, and they don't even realize they're playing golf, but they're hitting golf shots, they're getting swings in. And then you have like, like with my place, you got multiple screens, so you can still get all that data, and you're just playing a game, having fun. So it's like you can make it into a practice tool or just something to have fun and just something different than your usual, what you'd normally do with the sim.
Heck yeah. About you, Brian, we've known each other for some time now. I've never asked you this, and this is just coming right off the dome here. What's the best shot you've hit? Can you remember the best shot you've hit?
On the sim or in real life?
No, on the sim. Does one come to mind?
It was, during construction of the Golf Factory, I fractured my elbow. I took a bad fall. It was devastating. But actually I didn't have to wear a cast. So like when I had to calibrate all the sims, I could only swing with one arm, and I wanted to be because I have a sticker wall with like all the great, anyone who hits a cool shot and they're really proud, they can just put a sticker up. It doesn't matter. I believe you got one up there.
Oh, yes.
So I wanted to be the first hole-in-one at Golf Factory. I just knew like one night I'm going to sit in here and just hit, even if it takes me like 1,000 shots. So I was swinging left-handed, just one arm swings to a 40-yard par 3, and I hold it out. And it was like probably like the 60th try I made it, and I was like, got to put that sticker on the wall, and
That's awesome.
So that's definitely my favorite, was the one-armed hole-in-one.
Okay, as we wind you up here, explain now, because we've talked a little bit about the place indoors that you own. and your company outside of that, but give people specifics now, okay? So, because I grew up in Park Ridge, so Randhurst was a very popular place before Woodfield Mall. That was the big mall. You know that Randhurst, and you're in Randhurst. Right?
I know, it's crazy. It's like
the rehabbed Randhurst.
Full circle. I can't believe that I own a business. My uncle grew up in Mount Prospect, and my mom was over in Park Ridge. But it's funny, like growing up, how much time going to Randhurst was such a big deal.
Yeah.
And then it's fun to just that's where my golf sim place is. So it's like
beautiful
crazy.
now.
Yeah.
I mean, it was all redone, right? All of Randhurst.
It's outdoors now, and you can drive right in there. And they've added there's some other cool entertainment products they've added in there, and it's fun to see it kind of coming back. And we're a big part of that, which I love.
How many screens?
We got 10 simulator bays, and we're using TrackMan IO, so the overhead TrackMan system there.
And then your outdoor, the
indoor.
Yeah, the indoor.
I was going to say
Steve,
put those.
Steve, put your glasses back on.
Yep. The indoor golf guys. I was going to say your other company outside of your indoor place. How do people get a hold of you for that?
Yeah, you can go. Our website just went live, so you guys can reach us through there. If you got any questions, we do consulting, builds, basically any questions you'd have in the indoor space, we can take care of.
What's the website?
theindoorgolfguys.com.
Brian, the quickest thing, because I know we're wrapping this up here, but how far will you and the indoor golf guys, not the outdoor guys, Steve, the indoor golf guys, gotcha. How far will you travel to do a build?
Honestly, as long as it makes sense, I'd go anywhere around the Midwest or even outside of that, down to, if it made sense, and it worked, we got the ability to kind of go anywhere. So we would work in, if the job makes sense, we're there.
I dig it.
And you're doing residential, and you could also do, if companies want to put this in for their employees, right?
Yeah, we did. We've done builds for country clubs and, members having a little hangout in the wintertime. We've done, I built my commercial spaces out. I've helped with other commercial spaces. So we're basically anything golf sim related indoor we can handle.
Hey, Brian, could Ian Ryan Interactive grab a build?
This space would be.
Look to the cameras won't pan, and that's okay.
It would be. That's what I was thinking as soon as I came in, because he's got a ton of ceiling space too.
This is a great studio.
This is one of the coolest. That's where my shed comment came back, because this is the prototypical perfect sim space.
Dang.
Reminds me of Caddyshack. Laird, can we have golf balls in this space? He says, yes, we can.
Thumbs up from Laird.
Brian Hilko, Hilko.
Yep.
You're at Randhurst. You also got the indoor golf guys. And congratulations on building this. And it's exciting because this is where golf's going, right?
Yeah. No, I think it's, it's never going to replace the real thing. I think the real thing is the greatest thing on earth. It's what, I'm jonesing it. But it's such a great way to supplement that and keep your love of golf going. It's you can play it. We say we make golf 24/7. It's 12 o'clock at night, you're teeing up. You can work on your game. It's 10 degrees outside, doesn't matter. You're hitting golf shots.
Brian, I'll see you at the Golf Factory at 2 a.m. then.
I know.
Okay, I'll see you there.
Let me add this. I think guys forget that, and ladies, anyone who plays golf, if you get a rain out, all right, not a beautiful summer day, a bad summer day, right, or a fall day or a spring day, it's raining, or it's, we never played today, 8 o'clock at night. Who's going to play night golf? Go to an indoor place and have some fun and get your golf in for the day, right? I think people forget that.
It is amazing in the summer. I'm always shy. The rain days, it's nuts. I'm scrambling for staff. But even nighttime crowd and it is just, we get a lot, because the convenience factor for playing indoor golf, it's just so easy. You don't have to wait on any groups. You get in your bay, you play. It's you have an hour of time. I have 3 kids under the age of 5, and I might have 40 minutes. How am I going to maximize 40? And that's why indoor golf is just, it's perfect for me. And it's obviously, I'd love to be out there playing outdoors all the time, but it really is. It feels, I can scratch that golf itch and get back to the kids.
Good stuff, and a heck of a logo. I love the logo.
Canal Shores, man.
That's Canal. That's Canal Shores' new logo. Check that out. That's okay. Look at that.
I know. It's sweet, man.
How fresh is that?
Shout out to, I went and bought a bunch of stuff from them for Christmas gifts for my friends, because the logo is so good.
Hey, Brian did a good job on his pennant, on his look too with the Golf Factory. No doubt. Brian, indoor golf guys, he's rocking the new
Well, I remember when we first went out there. Yeah. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, it really came out well. I love how bright and fun the space is.
Yep. Fantastic. Great stuff, Brian.
Thanks
so much.
Great to have you, Brian.
Joining us.
we're going to move into equipment banter. We're going to wrap it up here. We've got
Exactly.
one more segment to hit. Thank you for once again, everyone watching and listening. This has been a fun show.
Yep.
This has been a fun show. We love having Brian here. Equipment banter. We're going to give one more shout to a sponsor that's a new one that I am personally, that I've known for years, that I'm really excited to give a plug to here. And that's a company called Human Interest.
Okay.
Okay. And I'm going to do a read because there is a lot to say, or a lot that could be said about human interest. So I'll do a quick read here, and then we'll get into the equipment talk.
Please do.
So here we go. Are you tired of manually uploading 401k data every payroll cycle? Stop wasting 75 hours a year on tedious retirement plan administration. Human Interest offers a fully automated, no-touch solution that integrates seamlessly with your payroll, giving you back 2 full weeks of your life. Stop the manual madness. Contact your local partner and a friend of mine, Katie Francis, to discuss seamless integration. Call, and here's Katie's digits here, 708-745-1447, or email Kathleen, I'll spell it quickly, KATHLEEN.Francis, FRANCIS, at humaninterest.com today.
Good stuff.
That's a good friend right there. So Katie, you will be getting some calls, and thanks for getting on with Kash and Matty. Steve, equipment, zero torque putters.
I think it's a hot topic. I really
Very
do.
hot topic.
I mean, I first heard about it with Lab Golf. I think they were the first ones to do it. Then I know Bettinardi jumped in. And it's funny, Matt, because while those two were going, all of a sudden TaylorMade goes. And I just, in the last couple of weeks, Scotty Cameron's now doing a zero torque. And I just saw Seymour putters.
Yes,
One of my favorite playing partners, Omari Minix, uses a Seymour putter. But everyone's getting into these zero torque. And the guys at Bettinardi showed me how it works. And I believe in it. The whole key is, though, do you like hitting a center shafted putter? Because it's about the look. Okay,
Sure.
Lab finally was able to put it as a, over
heel.
on to the end, which I'm still wondering, how that's going to test out, because they said, a lot of people don't like. Well, I shouldn't say a lot of people. Some people don't like the center shafted. I would still try to get used to it, but when I rolled it at Bettinardi, it was amazing how many putts I was making. So I think they're interesting. I think it's a great concept, but it was amazing how one company started and everybody said, boy, I better get in this market.
The technology and the advancement. I've talked to just yesterday 2 fitters, professional fitters that are friends of mine.
Yep.
And specifically do a lot of putter fittings. That's some of their bread and butter. And their data of late has been that 40 to 50% of their fits, based on objective fitting data, puts, half, 40 to 50% of folks into these zero torque putters right now. So
Yeah.
one of the fitters said, in his opinion, that it is, what were his words? Perhaps the biggest advancement in his mind in technology in golf in however many years he mentioned, but he has not seen something like it, because of what they're looking to do for anyone listening or watching here is to limit that face movement in any way and allow you to take that stroke and keep the face on plane to get the ball rolling on its intended line. And actually, here's a quick thing. On a flight recently, I spent some time listening to the Club Junkie podcast. This is by Golf WRX.
Okay.
It was specifically, they spent a lot of time talking about Odyssey's recent zero torque, move into zero torque. And on top of limiting the face variance, putting however many degrees, and forgive me for forgetting this, but however many degrees of de-loft on the face itself, on their insert that Odyssey puts. That's what Odyssey has always been known for, the insert, right? So they're putting certain bars to get that ball even rolling quicker and on its intended line. That's what we're doing, or that's what they're doing. Companies are doing with zero torque. Steve, I'm going to ask you this, and then we'll wrap here today. The likelihood you could see yourself in the next year or two owning a zero torque.
I could see it. I'm going to continue to test them and see which one I like best. I roll up Bettinardi right now, and they do as good a job as anybody with anything, and they're beautiful putters. They, it's like jewelry, and it is. And who you want to see something you like to look at, right? I mean, there's putter. You go to the PGA Tour Superstore, you could look at 200 putters, it seems, right? Or at least 100, at least.
So many to look at these days.
Yeah,
yes.
And you have to pick it up, and you have to see what is right for you. The length, I've gone to a 38-inch that I really like. The counterbalance. I can't see wavering from that. But would I go zero torque? The more I test, the more I like. I'm going to have to get used to the center shaft. Once my eye gets used to that, and I'm comfortable with it, I think it'll be an advantage to my game. I really do.
Yeah.
You?
Well, I'll just say this, that another email that I like to open is Plugged In Golf.
Yep.
Okay. And it's Matt Saturnis, who's running Plugged In Golf. And his review that caught my interest was Bettinardi's new SB5. He gave some insight into the 3 and the 5.
Yes.
And now I'm definitely curious to give some roll to the Antidote is what they're calling. That's Bettinardi's
it is
line for zero torque, the Antidote SB5. That I like the head shape, and I'd like to see what that feels all about.
Yep, absolutely. And it can be a blade-like, or it could be the mallet. Okay, they have both. So
I've seen more mallet, but I think I've seen blade as well, but generally more mallet.
Yep.
On those
it kind of makes
torques.
more sense, but I bought a Bettinardi that's all blackout because it was one of those,
That's Steve's. That's his. He's
one,
got the
one
bag
of,
too.
One of 500 or whatever, and I had to get this from Bettinardi, but it's an all blackout, and it's a zero torque, and really cool. So bought it more for the novelty of it. Will I roll that? I do like the mallet. That's my favorite. But good concept, good interesting topic, and you're going to hear more about these. And I thought Scotty Cameron kind of rushed to it because they always take their time with everything, but they wanted to get into the market very quickly. And I'm not crazy about how the Camerons look right now, but I think they're going to make it better as time goes on. And I think every company will, but a couple of them have rushed to just get into the market. So that's something to look forward to. I think they're going to change as we move on.
Colin Morikawa just made a move, his 6th putter move of the year, to a zero torque as of yesterday.
Wow, good information.
That's a few too many putters, but looking for the right answer there, Colin Morikawa. Steve, bring us home, and just before bringing us home, I do want to just quickly say, hey, anyone listening, watching, check out, it's our TikTok is really picking up some steam. The Kash and Matty TikTok. It's ticking and it's talking. I don't know. That wasn't that funny. I'm trying to make you laugh today. You're in a grumpy mood, Steve.
I'm cold.
Yeah, you're freezing in here.
All studios are
it's our
cold.
TikTok and it's our Instagram, Kash and Matty, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We need some more. Hey, we need more love on the YouTube. Our subscribers aren't bad, but we need some love on the YouTube page where you can catch this full length. But things are going well. Would you bring us? You always have a nice some closing remarks. Why don't you do that here, Steve?
Well, before we do, I just want to thank
that's
Pro
right.
Circle
Let's
Golf
not forget
Center.
that. Yes.
Yep. This is a sponsor that jumped on recently. Their business began in 1959, staffed by PGA professionals with over 80 years of experience. The shop has been awarded top 100 status 4 times in club fitting. They have a great practice facility with grass tees, sand bunker, putting green, separate chipping area, of course, for the summer. Indoor golf lessons now available with accomplished PGA teacher Gary Shastel. He's been around a long time using Doppler radar and video to explain to the student how a golf swing works, how the golf club and swing works, and what's best for the student. No cookie cutter lessons or club fitting. Everything is tailored to the client. No commissions on the sale. Best customer service in the business. Many positive reviews. So you want to get your golf game better, go check out Pro Circle Golf Center. They're located right on Route 12, right?
Spring Grove. They're up there by our friends at Big Moss. Yep.
Exactly. As you go past Kemper Lakes, and you've got a couple courses there. which is really a lot of fun. Great area. They're in Spring Grove, as Matt mentioned. You can call them at 815-675-2747, Pearl Circle Golf Center. And
Steve,
great to have them
great read.
involved.
Great read.
Thank you.
Let's wrap it up. I want to hear the closing remarks today.
Well, many thanks to our production crew led by Laird Crawford in the Ian Orion Active Studios. Many thanks to Will Ojeda, who does so much behind the cameras and behind the editing system. Many thanks to Brian Hilko, who does such a great job, and I call him the sim guru, but if you're looking for an indoor experience at his place in Randhurst, or you're looking to put one of these in your garage or basement, call up Brian Hilko and the Indoor Golf Guys.
Got it.
For Matt Smith,
got it.
I'm Steve Kash, and we thank you for listening and watching Kash and Matty Talkin Golf. We're having a lot of fun. Stay warm and stay thirsty, my friends.
Nice.
Take care.